This is fucking crazy. Hello. One person's here. One person. Who are you? Let me see your name in chat. Show me you're a real person and not like a robot. I'm not going to start this until at least one person is actually listening to this as the stock completely rips. Whatever. Anyone? There's 3 people. Okay. I think I found something important. And I think you might think so too. So, BridgeBio, BBIO, is announcing top-line data for its massively material drug Monday morning. They announced that they were putting out this data Monday morning, this afternoon at 4:01 p.m. Pacific Eastern Standard Time. So an hour and a half ago, okay? A lot of things happened with BBIO today. So I am going to get into those at the end of this call. But I want to tell you what edge I think I just found that I'm pretty proud of. So I was noticing that they posted on LinkedIn that they were going to share this data on Monday. And I just thought in general that was kind of odd. They probably do that for every conference call, but it seems odd to me that they would be excited about failed data, sharing it on LinkedIn with employees and with partners or whatever. I could see why you'd put a press release out, of course, but I don't know why you would post on LinkedIn. I then went to, I swear this is how this played out. What they wrote and what the name of the conference call is, there's a photo of it. There's a photo of it on LinkedIn. And it says, BridgeBio Pharma shares top-line 30-month results from phase 3 ATTRibute-CM study. Okay? For some reason to me, I don't know why. I mean, I really don't know why. I was intrigued by the wording of that sentence. Shares top-line 30-month results. And lucky for me, they have all their past conference calls on their website, going back years, okay? And I would like to take you on a journey through what they have called their past conference calls, okay? First off, there's only been 2 major moves in BridgeBio from a data readout. The 2 major moves were in March of this year, on March 6th, and in December, the end of December of 2021, for the exact drug that's reading out on Monday. Those are the only times the stocks have moved big, okay? However, there's been 2 other conference calls that they've had. One was on March 21st, okay, of this year, and one was on March 14th of last year. So in total, there have been 4 conference calls in the last 2 years, okay? And of those 4 conference calls, there's been 2 major moves. And the other 2 times there's been minor moves, okay? Let's talk about how they worded the sentence for what the conference call was each of the 4 times, okay? The most recent one was March 14th, 2022. On that day, I'm looking at my interactive brokers, the stock went down. Or the stock was flat. The stock was flat. It did absolutely nothing. It did literally nothing, okay? So that data, I guess, was irrelevant. That sentence said, BridgeBio Pharma to discuss phase 2 data for BBP 418. Okay? That was not a major readout. Oh, shit. I have the wrong date. Sorry, I'm all fucking out of here. I knew that wasn't right. Sorry. I apologize. Let's start over again. On March 21st of this year, I'm sorry, I had the wrong year. I'm really fucking high right now. On March 21st of this year, they released data on BBP 418. March 21st of this year. The stock went down. Like, I don't know, 50 cents to $1. So whatever, a few percent, okay? BridgeBio Pharma to discuss novel bioassay to discuss, okay? On March 6th, they said BridgeBio shares phase 2 data for ingrafatinibaba, whatever the fuck that is. On March 6th, BridgeBio went up 50 to 75%. It was a huge catalyst. Shares up 50%. Okay? Now go to 2022. In 2022, on March 14th, BridgeBio was down from, I don't know, 850 to 8, something like that. It fell a few percent. BridgeBio Pharma to discuss phase 2 data for BBP 418. And finally, my favorite of them all, on December 27th, 2021, when they announced the Part A of the Attribute CM study, BridgeBio Pharma to discuss. And the stock went down 80%. Now, what is the event called on Monday? BridgeBio Pharma shares top line 30-month results from phase 3 Attribute study. For the other 4 times to be random, and just they decide to change the word shares versus discuss, it's a 16 to 1 odds. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. The fact that all 4 of those times, of the 3 they said discuss, the stock went down, and the 1 time they said shares, the stock went up 75%. I do not think that that is random. Now, what else happened today? There's more. This morning, a few hours after the stock market opened, maybe an hour, hour and a half, the CEO of BridgeBio posted a poem on his LinkedIn page. For the first time, he posted anything in a year. It's his first posting. The poem, this might come to a shock for a lot of you, but I am not an English major, and I do not know poetry very well, nor do I know really anything to do with Greeks or the gods, or really, I don't really know anything about anything. So you're going to have to bear with me here. But this was the poem. And Drew Armstrong analyzes the poem in that thread I just sent. And the crux of the poem is basically, I was drifting and I found dry land. And he clearly posted this poem in only one of two, there's only one of two reasons why he posted this poem. Period. One of two reasons. There's no other reason. One, he knew the data was coming later today or this weekend for the Monday conference call, but he didn't have it yet. So he was kind of in a prayer mode, and he decided to post that in anticipation of the data coming, which is this big, gigantic catalyst for this company. He's a founder of the company. Or two, homeboy had the data this morning, and he couldn't help himself. So he posted this poem because he was so goddamn excited about the data that he had. Now, this is also where it gets interesting. BridgeBio has only press released conference calls 2 times before. The last time was for the March data release, where the stock went up 65 or 75%. Now, that isn't that big of a deal, and I'll tell you why. I was told a few weeks ago that they told a sell-sider they were always going to press release the conference call information a couple days in advance, and they obviously didn't have the data then. So the fact they press released the data today, a press release, the conference call, does not mean that this works. But I will tell you something that's very odd. In both of those previous cases, they press released the conference call information at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. Today, they PR'd the conference information at 4:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is not conclusive by any means, but it does read to me that the previous two times when they decided to announce they were going to put out results on Monday, they had the data that morning on Friday, maybe even Thursday night. The way the law works is you have to put out it within a certain number of business days of when you're exposed to it. And clearly getting it on a Thursday night or a Friday morning, qualifies for passing that, the Reg FD threshold. So if you take all of that together, the fact that they've done 4 previous conference calls, 3 of them were discussed, 1 was shared, 3 went down, 1 surged, and then you also look at the fact that they put out this press release at 4:01 p.m. The CEO put a poem out about finding dry land or some shit at, I don't know, 10 or 11 a.m. Eastern this morning. And the previous 2 times, they put out press releases Friday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern for the Monday conference call. Listen, all I'm doing is tea leaving. Now, there is one negative thing that I found. I did find one negative thing. In the last 2 press releases, one where it surged 70% and one where it went down a couple percent, they had a second paragraph in the press release, and it talked about the background of the disease that the drug treats. In this press release, that is absent. There is just a paragraph about the conference call with management to share the results, and they do not kind of go over the devastating nature of the disease. Could that be something? I mean, if your drug failed, maybe you don't talk about the disease. I don't know. I think it's probably more likely an oversight. I also think that this also is not conclusive, that sometimes, not always, sometimes when a phase 3 trial fails, like is a flat out failure, they don't even do a conference call. They just tell you the p-value failed, especially in a company like this where they have lots of other drugs they're treating, lots of other drugs in their pipeline, lots of diseases they're treating. There's no real point of answering questions for a drug where they're not even going to file on, that it's dead. That being said, many small and mid-cap bios still do a conference call when a drug fails. Now, when the top A part failed in December, they did not pre-release a conference call. They just announced failed data on a conference call a few hours later. This time they pre-released a conference call. Again, I wouldn't read too much into that because they told us sell-sider weeks ago that they were always going to tell us the conference call a few days in advance. So, in conclusion, you tell me, people, I did not buy any more in after hours. In fact, I sold literally less than 5% of the shares I own at 19:45, right when the news hit about the conference call on Monday, because as a result of that poem this morning, which a friend shared with me, I bought a ton of July calls. So I am very exposed to this event on Monday, given that I now own all these July calls on top of the common that I own. It's my belief that if he did have the data this morning to post that poem, the data is gangbusters, because he wanted redemption for the Part A failing 2 years ago and the stock going down 80%. And I think he just couldn't help himself. So, I think the stock can go to mid-high 30s, 40. The general consensus is that it's 25 to 35, and the option market has it going up and down $11 or so. You look at the August options, not the July options, because the August options cover timing. The July options are priced for a very small chance of it happening by July OPEX. Daniel, you're hilarious. Yeah, well, I was very depressed today, but now I'm very high. I sound depressed. I think I sound pretty animated. I don't know what part of this you were watching, but it was a terrible day. This was an awful day for me in the stock market. But maybe Gilead, or who the fuck is this poem? Oh, people are saying the link doesn't work. Let's see if the link works now. I'm sorry. Let's see. Oh, crap. I see what's going on here. Whoops. Well, people are on the fucking YouTube. I don't know what to do here. Oh, I'll do this. That's all I got. That's it. I'm going to hang up now. There is 2 more hours left in after hours, people. Now, the stock could go to $9 to $10 if it fails. $9 to $10. That being said, they have a huge pipeline, and I do think that the stock is a huge buy at $9 to $10. But there's huge risk in this thing at $21. You're looking 11 down, 10 to 20 up. I don't know. Do I think there's only a 1/3 chance of this working? Let me ask you a question. When you guys were kids, when you discuss something with your siblings, it doesn't really have a great connotation. But when you share something with your siblings, I'm going to share this with you. Jimmy, I want to discuss this with you. Bobby, I want to share this with you. Now, look, I might look like a fucking complete moron come Monday. It wouldn't be the first time. But had to get it out there in video form so we could see what happens. He shared the poem but did not discuss it. Bullish as fuck. Tom's in the house. Look, they've done this 4 times. 3 discusses, stock fucking down. 1 share, stock to the fucking moon. It's not an accident that they decide their language. 16 to 1 randomness. Goodbye, my friends.